Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It's a big Monday episode. Huge Monday episode. We got Joe in the house, and there is a ceremony that will take place today. A big one. A big ceremony. Very excited about this as Alex Bregman enters rarefied air. Perhaps his greatest achievement. This is a two-time World Series champion, but his greatest achievement happened since our last podcast recording.
Throw that perhaps in the garbage, buddy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just leaving it out there for other people if they want to make their own determinations. Personally, how I feel is that it is his greatest career achievement, which we will celebrate very, very shortly. This is episode 260 of Baseball is Dead. We're halfway through the month of September. We are quickly approaching the postseason. So if you haven't downloaded the Underdog Fantasy app yet, I would suggest doing it now because you're going to want to do daily fantasy during the postseason, especially when we are doing live streams. Dallas, have we confirmed yet? Are you in?
Well, I confirmed that a long time ago.
Okay, so Dallas Braden will be flying across the country to Casa de Carabas for wild card live streams. The whole crew. Joey, do you want to come?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be swell.
They're going to be doing Baseball is Dead Section 10 crossover live streams for the wild card round. Very excited for that. And what makes it even more fun, besides watching us and all of our reactions to playoff games, is when you download the Underdog Fantasy app. It's the easiest place to play fantasy sports. You play in their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. We'll be telling you what our picks are. We'll maybe be able to create some graphics and have those draped across the screen for you guys so you can keep up. As you know, I'm sure there's going to be maximum 5 games in a day for what's that first day for the wild card round? 4 games?
4 games.
4 games. So there'll be a lot of picks from a lot of different people. Maybe it'd be kind of cool if we had it scrolling across the bottom like it was like CNN or something like that, and it was breaking news. Here's all of our picks for the day. Make entries of all baseball or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can make up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. Promo code Jared, you already know that, Jared. Sign up with that promo code to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared.
It happened, folks. It happened for just the second time this season. We have an entry into Club 38.8. A man who crossed a very important line on Thursday. Actually, it happened Wednesday, but it didn't update until Thursday after we were off the air. But he gets his own platform here on Monday, and that's Alex Bregman. Born in Albuquerque, New Mexico on March 30th, 1994. Little Alex, as he was known back then, couldn't have possibly dreamed of achieving this. We know he was the second overall pick in the 2015 MLB draft. As Jared said, would go on to win multiple World Series, would have an MVP caliber 2019. But why I think this is particularly important, not only does it open the door for Alex Bregman to eventually get into the Hall of Fame, like the namesake Harold Baines, but I think, in a career that's been clouded a little bit by his association with the Astros, association with maybe he himself cheating to some degree.
Whoa.
This washes that all away. This is, without a doubt, the greatest achievement of Alex Bregman's career, and one that puts all others in the rearview mirror. Nobody cares about the pitch tipping. Nobody cares about the trash can banging now. Nobody cares about hurt feelings over 2017 or 19 or 18 or whatever it may have been. Alex Bregman is now as pure as a baby's bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a member of Club 38.8. And we have our second Baines Meter of the season, joining Shohei Ohtani. After, as we said, a great season in 2023, these are the only two that made it and the only two that will make it this season. So Alex has his moment. Congratulations to him. He hit over 300 with an OPS north of 950 in the 23 games leading up to passing the meter. So as we've seen with lots of people, although the huge exception is, of course, Garrett Cole, when he basically, kind of poo-pooed his pants a little as he approached the line.
Then he cheated.
Players step up. They step up when they can smell it, and Bregman did that, and congrats to him on one of the greatest careers we've ever seen.
That's awesome. It feels great when you know them. Like when Yelich was a Baines Meter guy.
Yep.
Bregman, like people that have been on this very podcast. Baines Meter enshrinement. It's big for us as a brand to have that.
Some are saying that there was a fateful day in Florida that really set this trajectory off.
Hold on. Wait, we're talking. Wait, the breaking news. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. So some were saying, Jared, it was a fateful day in Florida.
There's a big story that happened since our last
Alex
recording.
Bregman
This guy, Derek Bender. See this fucking guy?
Absolutely
you want to talk about
he became a guy
pitches.
not only
Jesus
for fans.
Christ.
This is when
This guy
he
was
launched
like, you see the movie Space Jam?
not only a wiffle
When
ball,
he
but
was
a
like,
side
he was like a big fan. He was a big fan of MJ, and he was like, "Hey man,
stratosphere.
loved
It was
you on the
just
Chicago
incredible.
Bulls."
There was
You wanna know what
actually an
these
area
pitches are?
called
And
free
he was
parking.
like giving him the pitches.
Free
Like it was
parking. This
out
was
of a
so
movie.
far beyond
Space Jam.
natural parking.
One of my favorite
They didn't
baseball
even
movies, by the way.
charge
I always
people.
say it's one of my
Alex
favorite baseball
Bregman
movies.
walked out there and was like,
But you had this
I
catcher.
guess if you want to pitch,
Giving the
we can do
pitches
this.
to the guys
So he
at the
pitched,
plate because he was like,
threw a pitch,
"Oh,
and he hit
I
this
don't want to
ball
play baseball anymore.
5,000
The playoffs,
fucking
all
feet
set with that.
into
hey,
free
fastball,
parking.
crazy,
Over free
crazy to
parking.
do. And he played for the Bourne Braves.
Do you think that actually counted towards his career wins above replacement, Mark? In like some kind of subjective, ethereal way?
Jayhay, I don't know how it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's I don't know how it doesn't. I mean, it was basically the natural 2018 version, whatever year that was.
19.
It was 2019. I can't talk now. That's basically what that was. It was lights, explosion. It was, yeah. Yeah. Yes. They made t-shirts, Jayhay. I mean, there's a bat hanging in a house with an autograph on it. I mean,
Two final things on Bregman and the Baines Meter before we move on to what is legitimately a very big story.
Huge story.
How much do you think, in terms of total dollars, do you think this achievement adds to his free agency outlay this offseason?
So we were talking about this last night because he's being linked to the Boston Red Sox. So, will he get a better deal than Matt Chapman just got from the Giants? You'd have to think so, right?
Well, I mean, he's been a wholly offensive, a better player offensively than Matt Chapman.
And a really good defense. He's a good defense. I mean, nobody's Matt Chapman defensively, but he is. It's not like he's just making the average plays out there.
No, absolutely not. Alex Bregman is a very, very, very good third baseman defensively. A very good third baseman. He's also one of the fellas that I would highly recommend. You get to the ballpark early, watch his routine in the infield. I enjoy watching him take ground balls. He's not Matt Chapman defensively, but I mean, Jay, what do you got?
No, I actually think it's a super interesting question, putting the Baines Meter joke part of it aside and the money, because I think it's going to be 50, 75 million that achievement tax on. But we're almost having the conversation he's not Matt Chapman defensively, but the implication is that he's a superior offensive player. And for almost his entire career, that's been indisputably true right up until his walk year in free agency, where Matt Chapman has, just been a better offensive player this year. And as a total package has been a clearly superior player to Alex Bregman this season. So I do think he'll get more than Matt Chapman, right? Like that I felt a lot more confident about that 3 months ago than I do right this second, because I don't know if Alex Bregman is a better player than Matt Chapman right now.
That's a take.
I mean, Matt Chapman is definitely better this season, right? We're all on the same page.
This season, yes.
Right.
But I think, yes, this season. But in spring training, if you were to ask the question to the panel, I don't think anyone's picking Matt Chapman.
I would not have either. I'm not trying to claim that I would.
Yeah.
And the previous half decade
Maybe
of Alex
Dallas
Bregman's
is a
offensive
fucking
work
idiot.
is definitely better than Matt Chapman's.
Mhm.
But like, what if this is what Alex Bregman is? Or even if we want to be a little bit more generous, what if what he's done since the start of last season, where he has a 783 OPS and a 118 OPS plus in 1,300 plate appearances, what if that is what he is? In which case, I'm still not sure he's a better player, and the numbers would say he's not a better player than Matt Chapman. So I don't know.
Well,
I think that's a very interesting question.
Is
there's
Bregman
been a
Boris?
little power sapped from him as well.
For sure.
Yes. Yeah. Is
That's
Bregman
been
Boris?
the biggest thing.
Yes.
I would have to look. I'm pretty sure.
According to
yes, though.
Baseball Reference, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that alone makes me think, well, because Chappie's Boris as well, right? Yes.
Mhm. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So he got a 1-year piece, prove it year, and then got the extension before hitting free agency again.
Well, yeah, I think what happened with Matt Chapman was they realized, you know what? We've got a player in-house right now, and it's taken a while just to get a guy that we've liked like in the building. And so we've got that now, and he's a pretty good player. I think this is the time for us to strike. I think the fans have rallied around him enough. I don't want to say he's from the area, but his time in Oakland makes him very familiar with fans in the area. He's from Southern California. So I think that was a big part of the Matt Chapman extension, was they had missed on so many other fronts, on so many other levels. They finally got a player that they feel like they can keep here and keep around for a while. And, you know, it's not like they're going to build around Matt Chapman, but Matt Chapman's a big part of what they're doing.
So I guess we're kind of ducking the question here. Yes or no? Does Alex Bregman consider we're not doing Matt Chapman's free agency because there's a 1-year piece. We're talking extension. Does Alex Bregman get a better deal in free agency this winter than Matt Chapman just got from his extension from the Giants?
No.
Let's do AAV instead of total dollars.
Ooh, gotta pull out the calculator.
So Chappie's extension's $25 million a year.
Yes. I think Bregman exceeds 25 AAV.
I think you get the 26. Yep.
Yeah, it could be 26.
Well,
Then what?
I mean, if you're thinking about it to the Boris point, though, like it would make sense if Boris used at least the average annual value as the jumping off point, right? If Chapman's taking $25 million a year for lots of different reasons, Dallas got into that, and Bregman is a free agent, you would think that maybe he would use that. I
What's
think
the
the
difference in
contract's
age?
going to end up looking very, very similar, which is a
1
cop-out
year?
answer, but
Bregman's a year older.
Yeah, you fucking nerd. That is a cop-out answer. Give me something more than that. Come on.
I think if I'm pressed, then I think Jared's answer is correct, that the average annual value will be higher than Matt Chapman's, but I'm not convinced the overall $151 million outlay is as large.
Yeah, I think that's the reason that I think there's going to be some escalators in there is just because of the like I said, the decline in maybe the power production, and maybe there's some numbers, some benchmarks in there that we can dangle some carrots, you know, and say, all right, Brex, we get this, we'll break you off. We get this, we'll break you off. So yeah, I just don't think total number. No. AAV, possibly.
I think Breg will get more just because his free agency he's going to get in a bidding war. He's got Boris, and worst case scenario, if he doesn't get the long-term deal, he'll get the high AAV with opt-outs like Snell and everyone else, Montgomery. And then technically I would still be right because you would get more AAV than Matt Chapman.
I mean, I hate to say this because, you know, outside of the issues in 17, like I really have enjoyed watching Alex Bregman's career. I really, truly have. But I think the way that the industry is starting to go and the way that salaries are being suppressed is Alex Bregman like at the intersection of his age and I don't want to call it the decline, but the lack of production in this moment and in these areas. Is he a candidate for salary suppression?
I guess, but has his power really decreased?
I mean, home runs, yes.
He's
like doubles, not really.
Home runs this year.
Yeah, but he had 40.
Okay, yeah, I'm looking at the past few years.
Yeah, so I think with Bregman, here's what I'm not ruling out is the Astros ponying up and being like, we're not going to lose this guy. Like, he's our guy. You know, I think like we got a good thing going here. Let's keep it going. Like, we're in the ALCS every single year. This guy's been a big part of it. He's homegrown, and like, let's face it. I mean, like, if like George Springer going to Toronto hasn't exactly worked out for George Springer. Correa going to Minnesota hasn't exactly worked out for Correa. I would like look at that and be like, yeah, I think I want to stay where I'm comfortable. If Houston's even interested at all, like they may, they ponied up and paid Altuve, right? Like they gave him what he was worth. What was it, 200 million or something like that? What was that in 2018? It was I forget when it was.
I mean, he just got an extension last season.
Yeah, so he's gotten 2 extensions then.
Yeah. I mean, maybe I'm saying something obvious, but what made it easier to evaluate Altuve, I think, is that he was playing out of his mind at the time that they gave him the extension. Like Altuve was still like a down ballot MVP candidate at the time that they tacked years and dollars onto his deal. Bregman, like, you know, I was talking earlier, like it's, you know, like if you want to be generous since this date, he's this sort of player. We're really talking about the same sort of player post 2019. Like he hasn't really been that different of a guy since the era where he popped 40 homers and then 31 prior to that. Like, yeah, he had a little bump in 22 where he was better than the other seasons and he was a little worse in 21. But like, we're basically looking at an 800 OPS, 120 OPS plus guy for 5 seasons now. What is that valued at? I think the industry, the more we talk about it, I just don't think it's going to be any sort of, I just don't think it's going to be a bidding war. I really don't. To Dallas's point, I think teams are maybe more content to try and fill the 2-win player internally than pay, you know, $27.5 million a year for the 3-win player. And that's why the more we talk this out, I do think going back to the Astros is going to be how this plays out in the end on a deal that looks fine for everybody.
I don't know.
Who are the teams that just off the cuff? I know this is kind of like impromptu, but like who are the teams that you're identifying or think make sense for a 30-ish, like middling power, but still very good player at third base?
The Red Sox. The Red Sox make a lot of sense.
And would you want that?
Yes, Bregman or Willy Adames. Like, I feel like they have to add a left side of the diamond infielder. Like, obviously, Trevor Story you can't count on. Health-wise.
What about the Dodgers?
Yeah, I could see the Dodgers plucking a Willy Adames. I mean, the Dodgers are always going to be a threat for any big name free agent. Like they'll take a shortstop, and the fucking Padres. I mean, how many fucking shortstops do the Padres have? They just stick them in left field and center field. And they're like, I guess you're an outfielder now. So teams obviously get creative moving guys off their position, but the Red Sox seem to want to move Devers to first base and then transition him to full-time DH. So I know that Cora still loves Bregman, and it's not like he has no say as it pertains to free agent decisions or any personnel decisions. So like the Red Sox need a gamer. They need a guy that's going to post. They need a guy that's going to play every day. They need a guy that's been there, done that. Like right now, you look around their roster, no one's ever done dick in the big leagues. Like in terms of winning, like getting to the postseason, experiencing it, being there, like no one's done that. Like they need a guy that's like, hey, if we're going to do this, like if we're going to actually get there and have success once we get there, here's how you do it. Here's my process. They don't have a guy like that on their roster at all, anywhere. So they need to, I think when I look back to the 2017 Astros, it all started in 2016. Like that crop came up in 2016, and for better or for worse, they added veteran guys in 2017. The the Beltrans, the Reddicks, the the McCanns, like those guys. It's like once they got there, then the younger guys took that next step. The Red Sox already have a bunch of young guys, and they're about to get an influx of even more young guys. They need veterans that have been there and done that. And Bregman certainly fits the bill for that. And he's not like, it's not like you're adding a 34-year-old. It's not like when they brought in Adam Duvall and they were like, this guy has been there and won. And he's
30 years old.
Right. Like he's a veteran, but he's a young veteran and he's still good. And he has a rapport with the manager. So yeah, I think it's a fit. Whether or not the Red Sox spend the money, don't know. We don't know what the price tag is. Like him being a Boris guy, we don't know.
So that right there, that is back to Jayhay's point about what are they going to do? How are they going to value that production? Are they willing to spend 25 plus a year on a 3-win player or 3.5-win player, whatever? Or do they feel like they can solve that puzzle internally with a couple guys and know that, you know what, it's not going to be 3.5, 4, but it could be 2.5 between a couple guys. Yeah. I think that will be very telling with what the Red Sox decide to do. How I think Bregman would love
Fenway, though. I think he would. I think he levels up at Fenway. To be honest with you,
it would be an incredible place to hit for him, especially for a guy who's not afraid to pull the baseball for obvious reasons. He's had the Crawford boxes in his fucking lap his entire career. So yeah, the idea of just get the head out, no problem.
Yeah, I think it's a great fit, and yeah, I think he's honestly tired of me torturing him for his entire career. So he's like, I need to align myself with this madman and then see what that does for my career. I mean, I basically saved his career. He said that this year.
I missed that.
I talked about it on the podcast. I said he called me one night at like 11:30 and he said like he was talking to some hitting coach or something. And his hitting coach was like, we need to go back and look at video of when your swing was at its best. And then we need to take it from there. And he said they went back and looked at his swing when he hit the home run off of me. And that they started to work backwards from there. He's like, this was probably the best swing of my life. Being able to catch up to 116 miles an hour and just blasting one. So yeah, you're welcome, Astros fans, but it's only going to play him out of Houston and right into Boston. So I guess we'll see once the offseason starts.
We'll see.
TBD. Put a pin in it, as they say.
If he signs in Boston, we can wear our Baines Meter shirts to opening day next season.
Yeah.
Celebrate Bregman.
Yeah. He wants to be celebrated. I'll tell him. I'll tell him that he's a Baines Meter guy.
Yeah, he deserves to be celebrated. We would love to get him a shirt too. Baseballsdeadmerch.com.
That'd be great, actually, if we sent him a Baines Meter shirt and he was wearing it during BP one day.
Mine is supposed to arrive today. I'm excited.
Oh, wow. That's exciting. Yeah. Yep. My ice maker is arriving today. I'm very excited about that. Because
not quite
my,
as cool, but sure.
Yeah. Well, my convenience store burned to the ground the other day. So I did
hear about that. You didn't have your tea.
Yeah. The Dunkin' Donuts was connected to it.
I thought it was a Dunkin' Donuts that burned. Now it's the convenience store too?
It was an entire strip mall. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There was like a karate place, a Dunkin' Donuts, a convenience store, and like a nail salon.
No, so Rex Kwando's got to move his fucking setup.
No color belt is saving you from a fire, unfortunately.
No, entire strip mall done. Now I can't get my ice cream, slush, nothing. Sucks.
Does that honestly mean you have to find a new karate studio too?
Yes, I do. Yeah, they're not doing that in the parking lot. It's about to get cold out. Can't do karate in the cold.
That's good.
Yeah, I need to be limber. You need to have your
just picturing Jared in that scene with Kramer and Seinfeld where he's doing karate with the little kids.
I did karate when I was little. I did taekwondo. I did taekwondo growing up.
He's an adult in the show when he does.
I know, but I'm just saying I have a background.
Perfectly, Jayhay.
What?
Perfectly.
What? That I did karate as a kid?
It's the next version of the no-hitter scandal.
That you, as a grown man, would still be doing karate with children.
No. I don't do karate now. I'm retired.
Yeah,
because it burned down?
It is weight-based. So.
As of today, I'm done.
A Baines Meter and a karate retirement in the same podcast?
Yep. I'm putting it in my rear view mirror. Done. As of today, September 16th, 2024, Jared Carrabis officially retires from karate.
What a run. What a run.
Hey, thank you guys. Thank you. It's been awesome. You know, green belt, blue stripe. We did it. Didn't quite get to that black belt.
What?
We got there. We got about halfway. And
About halfway.
yeah, that's halfway. That's halfway. You're trying to say it's not?
Strip mall karate.
Strip mall karate.
I mean, that's just great. That's just great. We just had UFC Noche, and I can't wait for the first competitor whose discipline is strip mall karate.
Yeah.
That's right. It's MMA, mixed martial arts. We've got Brazilian jiu-jitsu with a little bit of a kickboxing background against. You read that right, folks. This is strip mall karate.
Mm-hmm. I mean, strip mall karate produces some dogs.
Yeah.
We got some dogs at that strip mall karate. I mean, you guys should be afraid. Now that it's burned to the ground, we're all loose. We're all out in the wild now. We got nowhere to go. The world is our cage now.
Just a bunch of fucking...
Just a bunch of green belts with blue stripes or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you guys call yourself? The strippers?
And then it's, what is it? Green belt, blue stripe, blue belt, red stripe, red belt, black stripe. And I think to get a black belt, you need multiple stripes and then you get the black belt. So I was like right there.
Yeah.
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 I think it goes white, but you start with a white belt.
I think
and
red
then it
stripe
goes
is a beer.
orange belt, yellow belt, green belt, blue belt, red belt, black belt. Yeah. So I was about halfway.
Yeah. Almost.
Listen, dude, I'll fucking snap your arm and shove it up your ass. It's made out of paper clips and duct tape.
That's not karate.
That's not even impressive.
Karate.
It's not even impressive. It's literally like ripping a thing of toilet paper. Very easy. A baby could rip off Dallas's arm.
Yes, actually. Yes,
Yeah.
it is. It is paper mache for sure.
Yeah, so watch it. Watch what you say about strip mall karate because we're out here now.
Jared and the strippers.
Yeah. I already covered the Derek Bender story, but you were talking over me. So I don't know if you guys wanted to get your takes out, but I already talked about this on this podcast.
Oh man. I didn't hear what you had to say. Do you want to repeat it or do you?
I just said he copied Space Jam where Michael Jordan was at the plate and the catcher was giving him all the signs because he loves Michael Jordan. But this dude, Derek Bender, got released. Twin sixth round pick,
270K.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if I met him, but I did go to the Bourne Braves game last year. So I would have been there when he was there, like in their dugout. Like we did a video for Nesson where went throughout the first pitch and then was in the dugout for like a couple innings. Like, cause Salty's one of the coaches and he has like the walkie-talkie and like they're giving like, instead it's like pitch comm, but like he has a walkie-talkie that goes to the catcher. Like he's giving the catcher like the pitches to call. But I guess they do that in the Cape League. I don't know. Either way, I don't remember crossing paths with this guy, but he would have been there when I was there. It's pretty crazy. Crazy story.
Did you meet a guy who seemed like he wanted to go home?
Yeah.
Was he in a hurry to get the fuck out of there?
Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't see him. Maybe
I
take
couldn't
BP.
even like. There's so many. I don't know. There's really no other take outside of like the Hardo take, which is like what do you, bro? I don't know. Like we're gonna have a problem, like a major problem. This is a major problem, especially if it's caught in the moment, in the act. Like that. Like I couldn't imagine what would happen. Like I want to tell you that, father of 3 children, Dallas would try to, I don't know, gather information. But again, like what information do I need to gather? You were giving away the pitches. You were telling our opponent what was coming. Like there's nothing you can say to me. There's nothing I can hear from you. And from there, like you have absolutely violated the sanctity and of the relationship, of the competition, the integrity of the competition. And I just can't for the life of me understand, like, this is what you dreamt of doing. This is where you want to be. This is everything that you've worked for. And you now get to a point where, like, the postseason is on the horizon and you'd rather go home? You would rather go home? This is your job, first and foremost, but it's supposed to be something that you want to be doing. Like, so for me, the Twins saying, get the peace, yeah, go be somebody else's problem. If somebody will even have that.
You think someone would?
Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. There is nothing you could tell me about this dude that would have me go, you know what? Let's give him another. No, because what I would then have to do is explain to each and every one of my pitchers that this dude could possibly come across that he's not really screwing you. He's not really, and that is not worth the mental headache. That is not worth the anguish that any one of these other guys could potentially feel or go through the minute that they have to go to war with this guy and they start getting their shit lit up. What do you think I said this about the Astros and pitchers going in to Minute Maid after all of the hullabaloo, is regardless of whether or not there was anything nefarious occurring after the fact, if you go into Minute Maid and you get your ass kicked, you're thinking automatically, you have this feeling like, well, fuck, I don't know, man, there could have been, there could have been. And again, whether there's anything to that or not, that's an aside, but that's just the impact that something like that has. And we know that. We've heard that talked about. And this is the same thing. You're telling your opponent what is coming. Everybody on your team would love to kick your ass.
That's such a crazy thing to me that, I mean, getting drafted in the 6th round, it's like, all right, yeah, you're not a first rounder or whatever. Getting drafted in the 6th round of the Major League Baseball draft, you've spent your entire life working towards this goal, and you do something like that, like, it's career suicide. And especially in today's world where with social media, Twitter, all it takes is one player going on TikTok being like, yeah, like this, like, look what this dude did. It goes super viral. Like, you're going to get found out. Like, you're doing that. If you were a smart individual, you're doing that knowing that whether it's tomorrow, a week, a month, a year, the public is going to find out that you did that. That's not like a hush hush thing. That is, I mean, people are going to go back to the dugout and be like, did he give you the signs too? Like, oh, he did? Yeah, this dude's giving us a sign. Like it's going to spread. And then eventually, that's going to get out, and it is absolutely career suicide. Just quit if that's what you're going to do.
Putting aside violent crimes and stuff like that, I find this to be maybe the least relatable scandal thing that I can think of off the top of my head that we've talked about. Like, even the Ipe stuff, like, on some level, I think all of us can at least wrap our minds around getting in too big of a hole and gambler's fallacy and like, I'm due. Like, not that I haven't gotten in that sort of trouble, but I've gotten down like to where the point where I've gotten a little nervous at points in my, like, when I was younger in college, when I shouldn't have been doing that kind of stuff. I can relate to that on some very small level. This, no, I didn't play in college. I didn't play college baseball. I did play sports. And like, at no point was it like, you have to question his basic intelligence, I think, at some level too. And that's why it's so hard to relate to for, I think, a lot of people that are reading this story, because of what you guys said. He's going to get found out, and it's so pointless. If you don't know that this is a terrible idea, then you are dumb as rocks, period. Like, that's what it is. Well, there's nothing relatable about this. It's just so hard to be like, that's the way I'm going to deal with this situation. Walk away. Take personal time. Either of those things teams would have understood more than what you did, which I agree, there's no chance he ever plays again.
No. And let's remember, like, the line of what is okay, what is accepted, what gets forgiven. Like, we got dudes starting skin fires in the fucking drive-through. Like, and like, that's all good. We can forget it, but we can move on from that. Right? Like, that's okay, a little weird, but we can make our peace with that. But you do something like this, and I'm glad you brought up what you just said, Jayhay, about say something like if it's time off, whatever. And I know the Twins aren't the Dodgers, but the Dodgers have set a precedent in, hey, if there's mental health issues that you feel are going on right now, buddy, just talk to us. We got your back. We'll make something happen. I always go back to the Mr. Toe's incident where they continue to pay this man so that he can continue to receive the benefit and the help that he needs. And I don't know that the Twins do that, but say something like that's the whole. I think everybody's reaction and everybody that I've talked to about this has done what each one of us has done here in trying to articulate our thoughts. Is you get to a point where you're going, and it's because your brain doesn't compute it. I couldn't for the life of me know how to look at my teammates or even exist in a world where that's a viable option, a viable decision to make.
There's something very spiteful about it.
Oh God, Jayhay, so much. Like, what are you pissed about the playing time? Are you pissed about your own production? Have you found out or figured out that this life is just not for you? The bus leagues have chewed that ass up and spit that ass out and you're done with it. Like, have you made that decision where, look, man, I got signed, did the pro ball thing. Don't think this is for me. I'm fucking out. I am out. Like, was it as simple as, man, I got a wedding to go to in a couple weeks, and if I'm stuck here playing fucking ball, like, I'm not playing, I'm catching every other day, like, I'm catching every 3 days. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on in your head, but absolute nothing.
Have you ever heard about anything in your life like that, Dallas, at any level?
I mean, we joked about it, like guys joke about it. Like my catcher in AAA used to joke about it all the time. Jeremy Brown, he used to walk in, Brian, you know the deal today, you son of a bitch. I'm telling these fuckers what's coming. I'm tired of you flipping tired-ass change-ups up there. I want some fireworks. It's happening early. No, you're not doing that. Yeah. This is the first time I have heard of it actually playing out and being reported out, because this is the other thing, the coaches, right? It was the coaches of the opposing team, correct me if I'm wrong, that brought this to the attention of the necessary folks. We're like, hey, just want to let you know, man, like, this is the kind of shit that was going on.
His scam didn't last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like, the players told the coaches, like, right after the game, and then they, like, walked over and, like, told, it's like,
yeah, like, hey, we just won and all, and we'll take the dub, but this is how it happened. And then if I read correctly, they had this dude down in the bullpen for the last part of the season or the last couple games or whatever. Isn't that what the story says? I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now. Like, if I'm on that pitching staff, you are not coming into this dugout. You are not coming into this clubhouse. You are not coming into this bullpen. Abso-fucking-lutely not.
There was rumors that A-Rod did this back in the day on the Mariners.
What do you mean?
Definitely not confirmed rumors, but I remember, I forgot whoever wrote this book about A-Rod, there's just kind of like a anti-A-Rod book, was saying that he would, like with opposing team shortstops in blowouts, they would have signs, so they would tell each other what pitch was coming if it was a blowout to help other shortstops. So he would do it for other teams so that if it came up to him, they would do it for him.
Oh,
So
I
there's a little
believe
bit
that.
of precedent.
I definitely
Dallas
believe
believes
that.
it. You believe it, Dallas?
I believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do too. I mean, I'm not like some big baseball conspiracy theorist.
I'm sorry, Joe. If we're just going to use what they call a track record, if that's all I have to go on, yeah.
listen, if that was a feud question and we asked, name a player that you think might have done this in the past,
yeah,
I think we all would have landed on the same name.
Well, look at A-Rod now. Now he owns the freaking WNBA and NBA team, and now he's on ESPN. Like, this guy might have a path to redemption.
Oh, he's already there.
Oh, it's been
He's the
paved
face
in
of baseball.
gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
J-Lo
saying
put him
Bender.
over.
I'm saying this fucking asshole in the minor leagues. A-Rod might call him up. Hey, listen, man, keep your head up. You got to overcome these things.
I think I slightly disagree with Jayhay saying he's done forever. I think he's really like, he's got to go to like play indie ball and be hitting 450, where it's like, I clearly don't belong here. Like I definitely belong with a AA team or something like that. And then a dumbass team like the Angels will be like, sure, dude. Yeah, you want a job? We'll give you a job. And they'll bring him in and he could maybe work his way back up. But it's going to be one of those, like, how old is he? He's got to be what, 22?
He's 21.
21? Like, I think if he's playing professional baseball again, he's got to be like, oh man, he's 30 years old trying to make it back. Like, oh yeah, I was that dumb 21-year-old kid. Like, there has to be years of punishment. Like, the game will punish you for that. There will have to be obvious learning and growth as a person and self-reflection. Like, he has to sit there and be like, I was a fucking asshole. Like, I was a dumbass kid that made a dumbass decision because I was a kid and I was cocky and I thought I could get away with it and blah, 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 blah. He has to really shit on himself, I think, in order to be accepted back by the baseball community.
I think talent is the ultimate pathway to redemption in sports. You get the second chances if you're super talented, and you generally don't if you're not. And I'm not going to pretend like I'm a Derek Bender expert, but if the sequence here is that he has to wait years, he has to latch on in an indie league, he has to dominate that league, he has to convince people that he's sorry, and etc. I just don't think that's going to work. I mean, it's 67 plate appearances, but the guy was getting eaten up in A ball. And I'm not saying it's easy or that whatever. There are so many variables working against him here, above and beyond Dallas's, I think, very insightful point that I didn't consider, which is that you're going to have to convince every single person on the team that this guy isn't basically a mole to bring him in. And then it's like, okay, so for what? What am I getting for all of that effort? And it's a very, very low percentage chance. And that's why I would err towards him never playing again in meaningful, organized Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it makes it no. Mm-mm. And the numbers, like I'm telling you right now, what I have seen is guys, as soon as you get to pro ball and you get a sniff of what that's like, and you start to realize what this commitment is, and you start to realize that it's not fuzzy, it's not warm, it's not rah for the boys, it's none of that. It's eat or be eaten. You either can handle that or you can't. There is no in between. What's Yoda say? You either do or do not. There is no, I don't fucking know. He says something though.
Well, I would say best of luck to him, but I feel like I don't know that he cares. I don't think he's probably sitting at home right now being like, thank God that's over.
Yeah, that's wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. Congratulations on a great career. Anyways,
no
Hello
Baines
Fresh
Meter for Bednar.
Yeah. Hello Fresh, brother. Ever since, my lunch place burned down, I've really needed someone to step up for me. HelloFresh has done that. America's #1 meal kit, by the way. I don't know if you knew that, Dallas. And it's affordable for you, for everyone. Skipping trips to the grocery store. Big time. Most helpful aspect of that is the whole skipping the grocery store part. No more endless recipe searching or spending money on a whole jar of spices for only a pinch. With HelloFresh, everything you need to make delicious meals comes right to your door, pre-portioned and fresh, plus the included step-by-step recipe cards to make cooking simple. Make easily customizable meals with protein or veggie swaps. And don't forget to check out HelloFresh Market for more delicious add-on items to jazz up your weekly deliveries. You have a thought, Jayhay?
Yeah, I mean, are we done with HelloFresh?
No.
Oh, okay.
I've been using HelloFresh.
How long?
Probably since the All-Star break.
Okay.
Because Dallas, it's cheer season. Girl, dad, father, too. Once they start the practices, they practice. Like, I was saying this, how crazy it is. Like, when I played Little League at their age, we practiced one night a week. Yeah. One night a week we practice. Cheer, these kids are 11. They practice like 4 times a week. I'm like, what? Like, what are we doing here?
You got to practice being excited every day.
Yeah, and they're getting home at like 8:30 at night. I'm like, they got to go to bed at 9:30. Like, what are we doing? So HelloFresh skipping the grocery store and having these meals ready to go has been saving my ass. For free breakfast for life, go to HelloFresh.com/free bid.
What?
Yeah, for life.
Free breakfast for life?
For life, Dallas.
I've over the past couple of years, I've become a big breakfast guy.
Yeah.
I was not a big breakfast guy in the past. This
is enticing to you.
This is enticing.
Yes, for free breakfast for life, go to HelloFresh.com/free BID for one free breakfast item per box while subscription is active. That's free breakfast for life just by going to HelloFresh.com/free BID. Hell of a deal. Hell of a deal for the people.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of other stuff to get to. But while we're just on the topic of deals that are hella, I just wanted to point everybody to make sure that they sign up with the promo code Jared.
Yeah.
To get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog, promo code Jared. And it might be week 3, quote unquote, of the NFL season coming up, but Underdog, they're not slowing down.
No.
It's a big week for the promo calendar. More Money Mondays. That's today. I know Dallas was all over that CeeDee Lamb free pick this past week. He was. The game didn't go the way Dallas wanted, I don't believe. 44-19, I believe, was the result. That's
yikes. Not even close.
No, but CeeDee Lamb definitely got over 0.5 yards. He's back again for another free pick this week. Load up on Lamb. And then we won't do the whole calendar, but I do want to point out that we've got some MLB discounts coming on Wednesday.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
So I know we got NFL and MLB fans. There will be NFL things happening on Wednesday as well. But if you're just in it for baseball, we got you covered too coming Wednesday. We'll talk about that on that pod.
Yep. Joseph, on Thursday, Kumar Rocker made it to the big leagues. What is it? 4 innings, 7 punchy, something like that?
4 innings. It was like 4 innings, 7 punch out, something like that, I think.
Yeah. Like maybe like 15 swings and misses, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Something like 14.
Yeah, 14. Yeah, maybe 15. Could have been 15. Talk to me about Kumar Rocker's journey to the big leagues that is unlike anyone else's journey that we've ever seen before.
It's unlike anyone else. This is the first guy in history of Indian descent.
That's right.
To pitch in Major League Baseball, which is hilarious to Jayhay and Jake. They think that's hilarious. By the way.
Yeah.
We got these guys on camera laughing it up, but I thought it was pretty groundbreaking anyway. But yeah, he came up.
Inspiring. Yep.
But Kumar Rocker, kind of came out of nowhere in a way, while not coming out of nowhere, because this was the number one highest rated prospect. Not the number one, because, you remember 2020, 2019, when you had Kumar Rocker dicing it up in Vanderbilt, and you had him and his boy
Jack Leiter. Yep.
Jack Leiter lighting it up back to back. You had Kumar Rocker throwing fucking 99 with the nastiest slider in college baseball history, maybe. 19 strikeout no-hitter his freshman year. World Series, MVP of the World Series, led the college baseball in strikeouts, All-American, top prospect. He got drafted 6th by the Mets. Big deal. And then the Mets looked at his arm. They did a little x-ray and they said, oh shit, your arm is fucked. And they said, instead of paying you they were going to give him $6 million signing bonus to actually, no, we're not even going to sign you to the team. We're not even going to offer you a contract. So basically he was unemployed back. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he got like a shoulder surgery, but like didn't tell anyone. Trying to keep it low key. The arm is fucked, but we don't want to tell it. I think he's a Boris client, maybe some stuff going on, pitched in independent leagues. And then his velocity was way down. When the Rangers, he actually got drafted higher in the second draft.
Yeah.
Which is very weird because, after that, and you get the shoulder surgery to go, he went 2nd overall?
3rd
with the Rangers? 3rd.
Yeah.
Which surprised everybody. And then instantly it was a disaster. His velocity was way down. He was throwing like 93 when he pitched in the Arizona Fall League.
Yeah.
got rocked in the fall league, got rocked in spring training, needed Tommy John surgery, and that was kind of like, oh shit, Rocker's a bust. But he came back. This is 2 years after he pitched in college and first got drafted, and was insane, dude. And he's been insane in the minors all season. When I say all season, it's been like he had, I think, 7 starts this year in the minor leagues. 9 starts, was dominant.
A 40% strikeout rate.
Yeah, struck out. Yeah, I got the numbers right here. He struck out
15.8 per 9.
That's insane.
Had a strikeout per 9 over 16 in AAA. Struck out 40% of batters in AA. Was throwing 99 again, and they just called him up. So it was almost like he was forgotten about, then pitched 7 starts to the minor leagues, and everyone's like, oh shit, Kumar Rocker actually is a beast. They called him up, and now he's here in the major leagues, and he looked nasty. His pitches looked nasty. Like he had to swing and miss shit like crazy. He only pitched 4 innings, but yeah, good for him.
I'm excited to see where it goes from here, because obviously, I mean, that period of time was probably when I was the most invested in college baseball. It was when Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter were pitching for Vandy. And I mean, I had, what was it, ESPN Plus or whatever it was, to watch college baseball games. Like I had like the subscriptions. Like I didn't miss their starts. I remember being like at the gym for, I think it was Jack Leiter's no-hitter or something like that. And everyone just kind of like stopped in what they were doing and gathered around my phone to like watch this dude pitch. So those are the I mean, Vanderbilt's glory days go back to when David Price was there. Like they're just like a pitching factory. But those two in particular being teamed up there, it just felt like, hey, I can't wait to see Leiter and Rocker at the big league level. Like them being in the same organization is really cool. I mean, Jack Leiter, I mean, you can say what you want. It hasn't worked out yet. It hasn't looked like what it looked like in college at the big league level, but very encouraging. I mean, it's 1 start, but I mean, you're looking at the strikeout numbers during his path through the minor leagues and just coming up and going up against the big league lineup and just dummying them. I am very excited to see what becomes of Kumar Rocker's big league career.
What I think is going to be intriguing to watch and follow, and I just hope that he's able to stay healthy, because what Ranger fans are dealing with on the mound in terms of health right now, and what they've had to process with Scherzer and DeGrom, and now you've got this guy coming up, and you're like, okay, this is great, and we're all excited about it. That's why I hope everything continues to work out. He stays healthy. He's able to pitch a couple more times through the rest of the season. I mean, he would make 2 more turns, I think. And that would be awesome. That would give Rangers fans something really, really exciting to think about going into the offseason in the face of shit that has transpired.
Jayhay, you got anything on Rocker?
I just think it's cool that what was a baseball tragic situation has been flipped around and could be a potentially very cool story. I didn't have the connection with college baseball that you guys did, but I vividly remember the draft sequence that Joey walked us through in terms of him getting drafted first and then twice, and really being taken aback that it went from here's your bonus to we're just walking away from this situation. And I obviously don't know Kumar Rocker, but you feel for anybody in that spot who thinks that they're about to become a multimillionaire and live out their MLB dreams. And instead, they have to go through a much more indirect and I'm sure frustrating for him path. So yeah, I'm excited to watch him. I watched the bits and pieces and then all of the highlights of his start. And the slider is fun to watch, and I'll enjoy it as long as this lasts.
You know, it's funny. We didn't even mention like how embarrassing this is for the New York Mets. Would they like to have a Kumar Rocker right now in the rotation?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, take the L, you dumb idiots. Mm-hmm. They couldn't pay $6 million signing bonus because he had a bummed shoulder. Come on, man.
But it's kind of like the butterfly effect, though. Like if he doesn't get his contract revoked from the Mets, does he do that mysterious shoulder procedure where it's like, oh, fuck, like I don't have a job. Like I got to do something to save my career.
I think yes. Because I did something very similar, not unbeknownst to the organization. I had to do it after. But yeah, I think he would absolutely have done that because you get paid, because Kumar Rocker strikes me as one of those dudes who
how sketchy of an operation was it? Because if you're employed by the Mets, they may advise against it, versus he had no one telling him what he could or couldn't do. So he just went off and did some sort of operation.
Well, that it's like, again, if we're talking about, what are we talking about? First of all, because I don't want to speak on a medical procedure.
Do we know what it was, Joe?
I don't know.
Was it stem cells?
I don't know.
Because if it's stem cell therapy, I've had stem cell therapy. I've had that done. I've had that treatment done. And I went and did that treatment on my own. The reason that treatment was done on my own at that time is because what we knew about stem cells as an industry, it was still something that they were like, we're not paying for this. Like that was just the common practice, I think, across baseball for a lot of organizations. Now that the science is what it is and we understand the beneficial properties behind treatments like this is something that teams are more than willing to do if it means being able to get the commodity back to where you wanted it or back to where you thought it was when you first invested.
So I think, I don't know what kind of surgery he got, but it looked like his MRI looked bad, and then they didn't want him, and then he maybe he got stem cells or something to try to avoid Tommy John in that year where he wasn't on any team pitching the independent leagues. Then once he got drafted, his elbow was still fucked, and then got Tommy John. That, to me, that makes me think he just needed Tommy John, didn't want to get Tommy John because it would hurt his draft stock. So he kind of put it off, thought like maybe we can do without it, realized eventually like, yeah, we're going to need it, and then got it. He kind of just needed Tommy John, which I mean, in this day and age, who doesn't, right? Come on.
Yeah, I need it, dude. It's interesting. I think the only final thought on this topic for me is I just really hope it pans out for Jack Leiter, because I think it would be really cool to be able to see those two dudes in the same big league rotation after being in the same and dominating in the same college rotation to then, like, I don't even need Leiter to dominate, just be a solid number 3 guy, you know, like if he can be you know, like a 3.9 ERA guy with a strikeouts per 9 that's like around 10, like 9+, somewhere around there. Like I'm happy with that. I think he's capable of that. It's just, I think it's been a rough adjustment to pro ball. To pro ball, not even just like the big leagues. Like in pro ball, I think is when it started to be a struggle for him. But he's still young. There's still time for him to turn around and figure some stuff out and tinker with things. And hopefully he does, because that would be electric to see them two together in the same rotation at the big league level, just dominating again.
Yeah, it would help. It would help Rangers fans. Like I said, I think it would really help Rangers fans digest kind of what's happened as far as injuries on the mound specifically go. They would then have a couple different arms for their future to look towards and say, hey, you know what? Maybe it's not all that bad.
Yeah. Shout out to Vanderbilt.
Shout out to Corbs, Tim Corbin.
Yeah. Hey, Garrett Cole's a huge pussy, huh?
Wow.
I mean, I don't know.
You know what, Jared? I don't even want to have this conversation. I don't think I can. I don't think I can.
Oh, damn. I mean, if you're put yourself in that dugout, Dallas, your teammates with Garrett Cole. He's the highest paid pitcher in baseball history prior to Yamamoto. He's pitching for the New York Yankees in the Bronx. 3 days prior, he's saying Rafael Devers is swimming in my head. I'm scared of this guy. First at bat, he drills him. Second at bat, he like not just intentionally walks him, but like throws up a white flag.
Didn't even entertain the notion of trying to get him out.
The body language and the doing all this.
That right there. It's not just that you fucking walked him. It's not that. It is the emphasis on the body language in which you did, because what you said without saying a word was at no point in time will I be in a position mentally to compete against this guy ever again. That's what that said. It said right here. Does everybody? Yeah. You? No shit. Yeah. I can't. You? Go. Get me out of here. Help. And I don't know how. You expect to get the attention or to have the words carry the weight you might want them to from here on out when we start talking about competing. Because if I'm a right-handed pitcher in that clubhouse, and I've watched Garrett Cole compete and fucking dominate this game the way he has, and then I see that, I never again want to hear out of his mouth towards me about what it takes to compete, about how I should compete. I don't ever want to hear that ever again out of him. And it's and this is coming from a place of extreme jealousy when I tell you this. I just couldn't imagine walking out on a big league mound with his stuff and thinking that there's anybody in the world that has a chance. Not that there's people that would be able to dominate me, but I couldn't imagine waking up with 97, 98 and wipe out shit and go, yeah, there's guys who I don't even want to compete against. There's a guy out there who I want no part of. I couldn't imagine having an at-bat where I want to bow out of it instead of saying, you know what, you're 10 for 12 against me with 9 pumps. That shit ends today. That shit ends right now. Like, why is that not the mentality?
So I think it's half and half. I completely agree with you, and I can appreciate your perspective on it being someone that pitched in the big leagues and didn't have the high velocity, and you had to rely on the soft shit to get swings and misses and ground balls. But with Garrett Cole, to what you just said, right? Like, oh, you have 8 home runs off of me. That shit ends today. I think if that's the mentality, then I agree with him hitting Devers in the first at bat, but not intentionally walking him with 1 out and the bases empty the second time. You fucking hit him the first time to send a message like, hey, fuck you. Like, you seem really comfortable up there. Let's change that. So I'm fine with him hitting Devers the first time, but then to just give him 4 with the bases empty and 1 out, like, what are we doing? And then obviously he comes around to score on that. He ends up giving up 7 earned runs. He unravels from there. But yeah, like I've said this a million times, like there is definitely a place for hitting batters in Major League Baseball. There's like, whether it is retaliation, whether it's having your teammates back, whether it's making a guy in the box that's super comfortable against you not feeling so comfortable anymore. That's part of the game. You just don't throw up above the belt or like whatever. If you're going to hit him any higher than the belt, you get him in the numbers. But yeah, like once you send the message of, hey, fuck you, you're not going to do that to me anymore. And then you like walk them. Now you're saying, hey, like mentally, you have every edge against me. You have every edge.
Jared, I could not. This is something that I would be very concerned about. Very concerned about. How much time are these guys going to have left playing against each other in games that could very well mean whether or not they go to the postseason? And now this is the result every time. Every time. This is what, like, as a teammate, I'm thinking to myself, oh shit, we're up, or we're down 3-1, or we're up, and this is, well, fuck, we know how this goes. If this guy's, he could let this dude's he's going to get something to hit. He's going to let him back into the game. He's going to, like, I don't know if this is the guy. Is he right for this moment right now? Like, when that starts to come up in the 4th inning of a fucking potential postseason game or a game in the, like, what are we doing? What are we thinking about in that moment?
I don't know if you remember Ted Lilly.
Left-hander?
Yeah. So he hated, so it was Ted Lilly and Jarrett Wright in the early 2000s.
Jarrett Wright, not a small fella.
Jarrett Wright hated his name. So when he pitched at Fenway, they would go, Jarrett. And they did the same thing with Ted Lilly. They were Lilly. And then there was in 2003, like Millar and someone else. I forget who the other person was. Maybe it was like Todd Walker. They took like medical tape on the back of their bullpen jackets and one of them said L-I, and then the other and with a dash, and it said L-Y, and then they stood on the top step of the dugout so that the crowd would do the Lily chant, and then it like took it out of it. Like now we're at the point where if Garrett Cole has to pitch in a big game at Fenway Park against Rafael Devers, like Raffy owns you. Like if he would melt. Like he's openly admitted that this guy swims in my head. Like the dude didn't even finish the fucking question when he said, "Hey, it's Latin Heritage Month. Like, is there a certain Latin player that Rafael Devers?"
Rafael Devers.
Immediately. Yep. Yeah. So I don't know. That's if I were a Yankee fan, I mean, like I'm a Red Sox fan, obviously. So I grew up watching Pedro Martinez, and Pedro did not fuck around. Like that was a dude that I don't care. He's 5'10". He's not a big guy, but he threw hard and he didn't let anybody push him around. And did guys have success against him? Yeah. But when they had success against him, he fucking intimidated the shit out of them. Like he'd hit you, he'd throw at your wrist, he'd throw at your hands.
There's not that. That's the thing, man, is when I see, we just talked about this the other day, I think, and maybe we talked about it on air or off, but I talked about needing motherfuckers on your team, needing dudes who, and I said this, needing guys who aren't trying to babysit your kids. They don't care about the role model, blah, 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 right? They're just, they're assholes, straight up. And Garrett Cole is not that guy. And from a player's perspective, from a teammate perspective, I would love for that guy with his stuff to have that kind of attitude. That doesn't always happen. And you don't need to be that guy to be good at this game. I'm just saying it helps teams when they have guys like that. Conversely, when you have a dude who is supposed to be carrying the weight or shouldering the load that Garrett Cole is, and you find out that they're soft like this, okay. All right. Like I said, we're only having a conversation about going out there and competing and trying to go get somebody out and saying, fuck it. We're only having that conversation to a certain extent with you, Mr. Cole. And we know that now.
Mm-hmm. Jayhay, your thoughts on the matter?
You pretty much got to my point right off the bat, which is that you are one of the highest paid pitchers playing for the crown jewel franchise in the biggest, most important city in the country and the sport, with the most heritage and history and World Series aspirations this season. And that's what you do. I mean, I think I said it was loser stuff. That to me doesn't mean that Garrett Cole is a loser, because he's obviously pitched some incredible games in high leverage spots in his career and is the reigning Cy Young winner. He doesn't suck. He's not a loser. But that sequence that you guys just laid out is to me loser stuff. That is an example of a loser mentality. And that doesn't mean that you need to take that mentality into every single outing moving forward. But to me, there is a level of there something in the ether is concerning to me now if that's my frontline dog, you know what I mean? And maybe it doesn't matter in any scenario that isn't against Rafael Devers. Maybe that's what it is, but it still makes me a little bit uncomfortable. And I just think, more to the point, whether it impacts anything moving forward or not, like it is a bad look. I know we don't play baseball to do PR, but like if you have to be thinking about how that appears to your teammates, to fans, to the media apparatus as a whole. And to me, the risk reward benefit of issuing that walk and just being done with Devers doesn't even come close to the avalanche of nonsense that you have to deal with after that, some of which is real and some of which is, kind of hard to quantify. But I think it was a shockingly gutless move in the moment.
And what follows this now is back to the teammates and the perspective, the perception is, what if your teammates look at you in such a way where they can't separate and tell themselves that, well, you know what? That's not me. What if they look at you and are like, well, if he's afraid of him and if he can't get him out, like, does my stuff play? I don't have 97, 98. I don't have that wipeout slide piece that he does. How the fuck am I supposed to get him out? Like, do you want to be sending that message to the rest of your teammates? If you're Garrett Cole?
practically speaking, like imagine you are a Yankees player. Let's say the Yankees and Astros square off in the ALCS again, and you've got Garrett Cole against Yordan Alvarez in a big spot. No, Yordan Alvarez is not literally Rafael Devers. But if you are a fielder on that team, or you are Aaron Boone in the dugout, there's no way that sequence with Devers doesn't at least pop into your head. And again, maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe he strikes Yordan out. But every person on that team is going to think about that moment for at least 1 second in that situation. And that to me is like, what? Again, why are we doing that?
Well, and this is to his mentality and how he's going to continue to process these things. What do we talk about when we talk about quitting? What happens when you quit, especially when you start to quit early in life? Quitting becomes acceptable. Quitting becomes the easier way out. I'll just stop doing this because it's not working and I'll do something else. And right now, you don't have that luxury of just not facing guys that are seeing you well. So what happens? Do you just start to do this on a more regular basis? And I'm not talking about auto passes. Get out of here. I'm talking about now is my pitch selection, is my attack plan. Is it the same now? Because I'm starting to look at guys in a different light where, that guy got to that. Now I got to go different here. That guy got to that. Maybe I shouldn't throw that here. Are you starting a second guessing of yourself that wouldn't exist if you just wouldn't let this thought permeate and penetrate your thinking? Because now this dude is absolutely owned mentally by one guy. And he's playing. He will no longer be pitching against the Red Sox. He will be pitching against Rafael Devers.
Oh man. Yeah, it's the never-ending saga because interestingly enough, they're both locked. I mean, Garrett Cole can opt out, but like that's not happening. Like he's not going anywhere. He can become a free agent this winter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
he opts out.
Yeah.
You think he's going to opt out and go somewhere else?
Oh God. Could you imagine him opting out and just going to like the NL? He's like, I don't, if I have to see him, I want it to be one time a year.
I feel like that's not talked about enough, that Garrett Cole can opt out and potentially not be a Yankee next year. And then they could lose Soto and Cole.
He will not do that.
You don't think he's going to opt out?
No. What leverage does he possibly have right here in this scenario? Do you think if he reemerges onto the free agency market, entering his age 34 season, that he's going to get more than $36 million average annual value and or more than $144 million over 4 seasons? I do not.
I do not either.
So you think he's going to opt in?
I think he is opting into that contract.
He
and
retires
they have almost nothing to be concerned about there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think that's why you haven't heard anything.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, you usually do hear stuff around this time, like player intends to opt out. And a lot of time it's like, yeah, well, no shit. So, okay.
Yeah, if he'd had that opt out.
For Pete's sake,
if that opt out had come one offseason earlier, maybe we would have had a different conversation and Garrett Cole would be on a fat, newer deal. But unfortunately for him, it came after the 24 season.
Yeah. Speaking of things that suck, Navage will suck that congestion right out of your nose.
Ooh.
You get one of these? I feel like Joe would love it. Joe, when you come to my house for the live stream, I want you to try it. Will you try it?
What are you trying to say, bro?
You're a nasally fuck, is what I'm trying to say.
That's not even true.
You're very nasally. And it's okay to be nasally, but I mean, I there's ways to find relief with Navage nasal care. And I want you to try it. We're going to try it on camera. We're going to tweet the video. We'll tag Navage. I'm sure they'll appreciate the free shout out. But they make breathing easier. It's been a game changer for me. I'm always like congested in the morning. It doesn't matter what I did, what I drank, where I slept, anything.
Did little buddy get stuffed up overnight?
Every time. I always get stuffed up overnight. Hit that Navage in the morning, bang. It's like you can smell sounds after.
That sound like I'm congested, motherfucker?
Yeah, kinda. Man. But yeah, the congestion.
Joey may need to come to your house a few days early.
Yeah. We'll just spend a whole day decongesting Joe.
Do an intensive Navage treatment.
Yeah. Yeah. And here's if you want your own, Joe, you can order a convenient Navage starter pack, which includes a nose cleaner with batteries included for 30 original salt pods, everything you need to get started. Plus, you can get a cleaning kit as a free gift with your order, but only if you go to navage.com/BID, and then you have to use the promo code BID. Again, to order your Navage free cleaning kit and a full product details, go to navage.com. That's NAVAGE.com/BID. And the promo code, once you get there, is BID at navage.com/BID. I know you sniffly fucks listening to the podcast are like, I want to try it. Like, does it really work? Is it something that I want to give a shot? Yes. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. What's the worst that could happen?
It's fun. It's fun to do treatments and shit like that you've never done. Give it a whirl.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's check in with these postseason races, huh, Jayhay?
Yeah, I know I don't want to be Johnny Raincloud here. It just feels like we're not getting much movement other than Mets Braves, which again, if that's all we get, maybe it becomes everybody's focus on it and takes on another layer of excitement. Although now Lindor's out potentially with that back issue, which could suck some drama out of here. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of feel like we're just going to come down to maybe that NL wildcard spot.
You got no faith in my Mariners, Jared's Mariners. I'm sorry, Jared.
I do not. No, I bailed.
Jared's Mariners.
I issued a no faith on them, or more to the point, a full faith on the Astros a month or so ago.
I'm not talking about the division. I'm talking about wild card.
I mean,
they're 2.5 games back right now.
Yeah,
them and the Tigers, both 2.5 games back. The Mariners have been quietly beasting, and it's
so have the Tigers.
Yeah,
so
Tigers.
I feel like the Tigers. People are kind of talking about the Tigers. Oh, watch out for the Tigers. These guys are the beasts of the East, even though they're not in the East. But
I think it's because the Mariners' offense has been slandered so much, and rightfully so, that no one is considering them a legitimate threat, even though they're in the same exact spot that the Tigers are.
Yeah, no, everybody has watched their starting pitching go out and do yeoman's work and get absolutely no benefit.
Well, do you remember
There's
last year when the
nothing to show.
Mariners were mid, and then all of a sudden we just went on a crazy tear because of one guy, Julio Rodriguez, went apeshit for like a month straight?
Mm-hmm.
He's always a difference maker when it comes to, because if the Mariners offense is good, it's usually because of him, and he's been a beast over the past like week. I'm just saying, I'm projecting. There's possible projections that if Julio Rodriguez goes fucking apeshit for the next 2 weeks, the Mariners make the playoffs with the best pitching staff in the playoffs.
So, Joe, on the apeshit meter, where is Julio's performance right now?
Julio Rodriguez. Oh, I'm sorry. It's complicated with the meter. The meter, it's graded on a scale.
Okay.
And he's played a lot of games in Mariners home stadium. As you know, with the batter's eye, it's really hard to hit there. So, but I mean, I'd put him on. He's not going apeshit. He's on apeshit watch for me.
Okay.
So if you want to give you on a meter, I'll give you like a 3.
All right. So he's like macaque shit, not full ape yet. Smaller primate.
But I think over the last, let's look at this, since August. No, not August. Okay, now I'm just changing dates on Baseball Reference to justify my. I'm like, never mind.
Hey, no, that's a common practice here, Joseph. That is a very common practice.
Since August 23rd is what I meant to say.
Yeah.
845 OPS. That's pretty good, but not really what I'm looking for. Let's switch it again. So that's August 28th. 974 OPS.
Oh, okay.
Now
Yeah.
A little better.
That's borderline ape shit right there. And
that's when things started
if he does what he's done since August 28th and maybe puts it into hyper gear, we got ape shit We got J-Rod going ape shit, and I think if J-Rod really goes ape shit, I think the Mariners get in.
I mean, just 3 games since August 28th that he has not recorded a hit. Just 3.
To me, I don't have stats to back this up, but J-Rod to me is like one of the streakiest hitters in baseball. Like, he goes ape shit, and he's going ape shit. And then most of the season, you think, oh, I got J-Rod's having a down year. Goes ape shit, and now he's having a good year.
Yeah,
Just watch out. And you really think, does anyone on this podcast have that much confidence that the Minnesota Twins are like that good, that they are so much better than the Mariners that there's no chance the Mariners can catch up to them 2.5 games?
No, there is some chance, but I also think the Mariners' schedule is working against them. They start a 3-game series against the Yankees tomorrow, and then they have a they have a 6-game road trip. That's the Rangers and the Astros. Obviously, one of those is harder than the other, but they're going to probably get DeGrom in one of those, which I know he's not throwing a ton of innings, but that's maybe a little bit tougher than the Rangers were at different points this season. And then they finish with obviously Dallas. So it really, this could come down to Dallas. Braden.
That's right. Yeah,
Dallas Braden.
Spoilers, baby. Spoilers. I would love nothing more than to dash those hopes.
I mean,
of Seattle Mariner fans.
I would rather see the Mariners in the playoffs than the Twins. I think they're a more if Julio is upright and playing well, to Joey's very eloquent statistical breakdown showed us, their pitching is undeniably more interesting than the current version of the Twins. So
that's
I would rather see the Mariners. They're just working with a huge, 2.5 games is a significant deficit with this amount of time left.
And don't the Mariners, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the Mariners have the toughest remaining schedule in baseball.
That's tough. Toughest is tough.
That is tough.
It's not the easiest.
Yeah, Fangraphs has the Rockies ahead of them, but they're obviously not relevant. So
they're not a real
relevant
team.
Teams, of relevant teams, they have the hardest remaining schedule.
I saw some TikTok this morning about someone who covers the Rockies talking about Chris Bryant, and he was just like, it's not going well, obviously on the field, but like that he's like distant in the clubhouse, and that he hasn't immersed himself in the Denver culture, and that he hasn't connected with the fans, and the fans haven't connected with him. It seems like a miserable existence for Chris Bryant.
Chris Bryant isn't going rock climbing. He's not in the Denver culture, dude. No hacky sack.
He's not tightrope walking.
But if he's like a loner in the clubhouse, that's wild.
If he's what?
A loner in the clubhouse.
There's a difference between being a loner in the clubhouse and then being like just existing in the clubhouse, if that makes sense. Like, to be a loner in the clubhouse, you're just kind of off over there doing your thing. You're not really interested. Like, you're not playing cards with the boys. You're not, doing crosswords. You're not doing anything to be a teammate. You're just off to the side. And then there's guys who are just not present in the clubhouse at all. Like, they're out, they'll be on their phone walking around, or they get there late and they've got their own routine, like going through the training room and blah, blah, blah. So literally everything they're doing while they're there, they're doing something, and that's by design. So they don't have idle time. So they're not there. Like, why would I show up early? I would show up early because I enjoy being here. I show up early because I like you guys. And the first fucking hour of my day could very well be us playing cards or playing Golden Tee or screwing around. Just, you know what I mean? Just being teammates. And then from there, my routine can start. But if you're not interested in doing any of that, you're showing up and you're putting your keys and your wallet away, and then you're walking into the training room, right? Like, I've gotten changed. Now I need to go get stretched. I need to start getting my body ready to do what I'm going to do. Yes, it's just that sounds like it's a very unfortunate existence.
Makes sense though, right? I mean, if you're on a team and you've been injured for like half the time you've been on that team, it seems like there'd probably be less time for bonding.
Joe, and that doesn't get talked about enough. Chris Bryant is in no place mentally when you are dealing with those sorts of injuries to be a rah-rah guy who brings the room together. He can't do that because he's not performing and playing the way he would where you start to get guys' attention and get them to buy into the culture you're trying to create. You can't do that when you're hurt. And not only can you not do that when you're hurt, but you're just taking up space and you want to be out of the way. And it's just you can't operate on the IL as a team leader unless you've already built up that cachet. And that just is not the case.
That's tough to hear, Jared. That report makes me think the Rockies could be in big trouble.
You know who's not in big trouble, though?
Who?
People who sign up with the promo code Jared.
Yeah.
They get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick. You also get access to everything that I outlined on the promo calendar.
Sure.
Oh, I don't know, about 29 minutes ago in the podcast. That's Underdog, promo code Jared, Jared.
That is how you spell it.
I get a lot of questions about that, so I like to clear it up.
Yeah, it's Jared. So, yeah, I'm glad people are signing up with Underdog. I'm just saying, get in now. Get in now before the playoffs start, and you're like, oh, I want to be included. I don't feel included. You guys are doing all this stuff, and I don't feel. It's like, all right, get in now. Get familiar with the interface. Build up your confidence. Maybe take some of my picks. I don't know. That'll probably help in the process. And then once the playoffs start, I don't want to hear any complaining that we didn't tell you. Don't want to hear anything about it. Whew. But to Jayhay's point earlier, yeah, it does kind of seem like the National League wild card is the only race that we're going to get, which is fine. You know, I guess I'm not super pumped about that. I also do the Yankees play the Orioles again, or are they done?
Well, hold on.
What?
Is there no conversation whatsoever about the division in the NL, about the NL West division? I know it's 3.5, but we just got some news. The Dodgers just got some news.
And they haven't had Glass now for what? I mean, he's at what, 140 innings?
That's a devastating thing to me for the postseason. It's got almost no impact on their ability to hold on to the division for the remainder of the season. I think it's a huge blow for their World Series aspirations, but
nothing for the division.
I just think we've been
about it at all.
Not really. I mean, we've been kicking around this threat for months now, and at no point have they been overtaken. Not a single time were they overtaken.
It feels like when there was an opportunity, the Dodgers just won like 8 or 9 in a row, and nobody else did. And they're like, okay, we're back to 5+, and you're not going to close the gap.
It also feels like the Dodgers offense is as close to fully functional and whole as we have seen in quite some time. I know we focus on the pitching staff and how banged up it is, and how ineffective some of those guys that we anticipated being effective are. But this is basically the Dodgers lineup. I mean, they've got the guys that they want in here. Muncie's back. Obviously, Mookie's been back for some time. Tommy Edman, baby. Is both back and also like really providing value for this team above and beyond his positional flexibility. Like I know there was some reaction to that trade. Like, why are they bothering with Tommy Edman? And I just think, I think that's been very quickly answered.
Yeah, why wouldn't you bother with Tommy Edman? Like, the guy, especially if you're the Dodgers, you need help everywhere.
I almost feel like part of the reaction to that trade, not to do like a total like revisit on that deal, but I feel like some people asked, why didn't the Dodgers just get Fedde for themselves? And like, they need help in the rotation, quote unquote. Like, and obviously I think they saw the bigger picture. And this offense with all of these guys intact is, I know the Diamondbacks have had the best offense. We covered that. But if you're going head to head in the series, the Dodgers offense is at least as good if these are the people who are playing.
No, it's fucked up, man. Watching like the Braves play the Dodgers this series, especially, it just makes it apparent. Like, having Ohtani in the leadoff spot is just fucked up because you can't really pitch around him ever, because you got Mookie Betts behind him, and then after that it's Freddie Freeman. It's fucked up. You got to throw fucking meatballs to Shohei, and he makes you pay. I don't want to bring up old shit, but he did it last night. And then after Freddie, you got Teoscar, Max Muncy, Will Smith.
Teoscar?
That's his name, bro.
Yeah.
Well, it is funny, though, to Joey's point there. It's like that sequence last night where you intentionally walked Ohtani, not to get to Mookie, but to pitch to Mookie instead. and he hits the RBI single, and then you're through the Ohtani Mookie part of the lineup, and then what was it? One batter later, it's 3 straight homers. Like in the secondary or tertiary part of their lineup, it's just it's relentless.
And what was that? That's the third
and it's
time?
healthy now.
That's the third time they've done that this year, back to back to back homers. Oh my God, it's stupid. It's just stupid. But this is what you expected when you say it out loud, that the top third of your lineup is MVPs. And we're not talking MVP candidates.
Yeah.
MVPs.
MVP
When the top
winners.
third of your lineup is MVPs, this is the kind of stuff that you would come to expect. So just putting a bow on the whole, is the division safe? Well, based on what the offense has been able to do, which seems like it's, like you said, Jayhay, pretty much as close to plug and play as it can get right now.
Well, and also, obviously any team can win any baseball game, but the Dodgers have the easiest schedule remaining in baseball, and it's not even close. And that's if you look at Fangraphs and the stats, or if you just look at who these teams are. They have 1 game against Atlanta today, and then 3 on the road in Miami. Then they have 3 at home against Colorado. They have a legitimate series against the Padres squeezed in between, and then they finish with 3 in Colorado. So,
my God,
9 of your 13 remaining games are against teams that are, to the extent that any team is non-competitive, they are non-competitive.
Well,
so
half of your games remaining are against the Rockies.
the Rockies.
Feels intentional
that's-
by Major League Baseball. They wanted to get Shohei to the postseason very badly.
Well, good. Whatever they need to do to engineer that is fine by me. The Yankees and Orioles do have 1 more series remaining.
And so the Dodgers and the Padres. And so I know we might be moving on, but if Padres, you want some hope, yeah, that sounds scary that they play the Rockies like 7 times the rest of the year. It looks like it's going to be hard to beat the Dodgers. But you have a 3-game series against the Dodgers, and right before that series, the Padres are playing the White Sox.
But even so, Joe, it's 3.5 out. So let's say everything went well in that series against the Dodgers. They would still be sitting a half game out of first place. They would not be able to overcome.
And the other thing too, Joe, that's very important to note here is even the worst teams in baseball could win series sometimes. Right, Dallas?
Yeah. No. You ready? Yeah.
What a professional transition that was.
Yeah. Even the worst teams, perhaps of all time, even once in a while, they can grab a series against a young, upstart, exciting ball club with very talented players. That's why you got to play the games, Joe, because anything can happen in our great game. Dallas?
That's baseball, Susan.
Yeah. Andrew Benintendi, Southside stand up, though. I mean, that was
What are we? Oh,
what?
Fuck.
Second walk-off home run of the year?
I know. Well, no,
Yeah.
it would naturally. It just feels like it would be something that the A's would have to endure this year. Just even as good as things have been going here lately, as nice of a run as the team has been on.
Yeah.
It feels like, you know what? If we're going to have a team that hasn't won a series at home in the last 20, if we're going to have a team that is challenging the modern record for losses, then why don't you guys go ahead and be the ones that they beat? Why don't you guys be the one? That's the way that the season has gone. But it is what it is.
The second half of this Major League Baseball season, Dallas, who would you guess the A's record is sandwiched between? Who's the team that's right below you? Who's the team that's right above you in the second half of the season?
The Mets.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
The Yankees.
Yep. They are the team above you. Who's the team right below you?
I can't use the Mets again.
No.
The Royals.
The Phillies.
The Phillies.
Yep. It goes the Royals at 30-23, the Yankees at 29-23, the A's at 28-24, and the Phillies at 28-25 in the second half.
Look, we're closing in on hopefully a third
winning second half.
Well, no, not only a winning second half, but a third winning month in a row. And we hadn't had 2 in a row since 21, 22, something like that. So it's been a hot minute. But this is, for A's fans that are listening to this is the moment, and this last month plus has been the moment where you have been asking over the last couple of years, what are we looking for? What does the future look like? What do we have to get excited about? You're seeing it. You're seeing it right now. And there's been some pleasant surprises as well. But this is what happens. And I say this every fucking day on TV because it's true. And it needs to be said. This is what happens when a group of guys gets better together at the same time.
Okay, but address the fact that you lost a series to the White Sox.
Yeah. I mean, again, some mistakes on the mound. Some guys just missed location. Ultimately, that's what the outings were. Mislocation. Some sinkers that didn't sink, that found the barrel. Some sliders that were elevated. And that's about it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, it's not like the White Sox were playing unbelievable, fundamentally sound baseball.
Come on.
That just
tip your cap. You got to
them.
tip your cap, Dallas. You got to tip your cap. You're being a sore loser right now.
Did you guys think about throwing up 4 and just letting them have the series?
that was never a thought, Jayhay.
Can't deal
never
with these guys.
Benintendi,
too monstrous.
We said fuck it. We're gonna try to get him out. Least we could do is try to compete.
Didn't work. Did not work.
Go out under shield.
Yeah, but the Game Time app works. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. So you don't have to waste your time searching through thousands of tickets. I'm getting very excited as we draw closer to the month of October. We will be using the Game Time app for playoff tickets. We don't know where we're going to be. Maybe Philly keeps getting thrown around, but I mean, they've got to pick it the fuck up in the second half. It's been not the juggernaut team that we thought Dave Dombrowski had put together. But anyways, we will be going to a playoff series, and we will be using the Game Time app once we do. Game Time pick curation makes it easier to save money on sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. You toggle the all-in pricing feature, and that shows you the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. The lowest price guarantee, your Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is also covered by the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code BID for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and use the promo code BID, and that'll get you $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Dallas, what time is it?
Game time.
It's game time. It is game time. All right. I think we're on the back end of our show here. Any other topics that you gentlemen would like to get to today?
Helio Ramos did the undoable.
Little splash town.
That's it.
From
this
the
was
right side?
something that since they had dropped this jewel out in the bay, you had waited for. Can a right-handed hitter go splash down in McCovey Cove? Well, that question was answered. Helio Ramos becomes the first right-handed hitter in ballpark history to pump one into the Cove. That's a feat of strength, a feat that I have to believe we had several other individuals pegged achieving long before Helio Ramos. But he is the man. He is the myth. I do not know if they're going to put a statue. Some are saying there's already a statue of him out in McCovey Cove next to Willie. I think that's a little aggressive, but nonetheless, it had to be done. And it was the home team player that did it.
Do you have a problem with McCovey Dave and out there on the kayak not giving the ball back to the Giants? He's refusing to give the ball to the Giants. He says he will give it to the Hall of Fame, but he will not give it to the Giants.
Well, he wants a parking spot. Just give him the damn parking spot. That's all you got to do.
Yep. Nope. That's a huge racket there. You know how much that costs? You know how much they would have to carve out there?
Have you been to San Francisco, Jared? Parking is, come on.
I know. It's a nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
Well, yeah, and you're not even guaranteed. This is the other thing. Like parking there, you're not guaranteed that your car is going to be there when you get back.
Right.
Or that the contents in your car are going to be there when you get back.
That's true. It's hard times out in San Francisco.
Yeah,
Drive downtown, you get heroin needles stuck in your tires.
Yeah, I got no problem with Kayak Dave.
Sounds like you want to fight him. You said you'd beat his ass.
I said nothing of the like.
You know this guy McCovey Dave, he's been, I don't know the real stat, but it's fucking crazy. He's been to like 600 Giants games. Out of all the home runs that have gone into McCovey Cove, he's gotten like 30% of them.
Yeah, well, you see, like he's taken the right angle every time, and he's unapologetic about the line to the baseball. Like I think he strictly adheres to waterway right-of-way laws. So if he's got the tip of his kayak in, like he's like, look, sorry, I've already established a line here. Get the hell out of here, or you're gonna get sunk.
Mm-hmm. There's rumors that he has actually a propeller in that kayak. I'm not saying it's true.
I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. That thing's motorized. You see how quickly he comes into the picture in some of these?
That would be a damning thing against his reputation, though.
Why?
Oh,
if you're not cheating, you're not trying.
Yeah, nothing says that he can't have a motorized kayak back there.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
I would have more respect if he was juicing.
Yeah.
Yes.
If he continued on the tradition out there in San Fran and just juiced his way to record-setting balls.
Yeah.
Wow.
Speaking of annoying fans, I don't know if this is true or not, but I'm gonna move forward and operate like it was true. But someone said that Zach Campbell was talking shit at Section 10 night. I guess Zach Campbell was also at Section 10 night, not for Section 10 night, but he was there at the same time. And then I think someone needled him by saying like something that I didn't say, like, you know, like Jared Krause thinks you suck or something like that, which I do think that, but I've never like said it. And then he responded by being like, well, fuck him or something like that, which I mean, I don't know that I've ever
the living shit out of you.
Zach Campbell is like the size of my fucking little pinky
what is that?
toe.
He would absolutely stomp a mud hole in you.
Go on Google right now, search Zach Campbell shirtless. Dude's ripped. He's fucking ripped.
I could see him being at least a blue with a red stripe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He'll fucking kick your strip mall karate ass. That's
no. Just to be clear, I'm rooting and would pick Jared, but I could see Hampel, you know, kind of bragging about his martial arts skills, his strip mall karate.
Yeah. Yep. I would want Jared to win that fight too. I just don't know that he would. I don't know.
Dallas's tactic. I'm too zen these days. Girl dad Jared is zen. I feel like you know, the old Rocket you'd get a rise out of him, and he would challenge a fight to Zach Campbell right now. Like it would have already been issued. But girl dad Jared, too zen for that.
That's cool.
It is a nice perspective that it brings, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Everything could be crumbling around you. Zach Campbell could be calling you a puss.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just look at your girls and be like, I got all I need right here.
Right here. Yep. That's all I need. You know, went apple picking over the weekend.
Nothing heartier. Nothing more wholesome.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got those cinnamon donuts.
Mm-hmm.
Could have just went to the store.
Listen, I didn't eat the apples. I was just there to take in the moment, you know?
Just there so you don't get fined?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. I was a little pissed, but shout out to Nesson 360.
The pictures are much better of you taking one of your children reaching for an apple on an apple tree than it is them reaching for an apple, you know, in the big Y for something like that. Yeah.
Oh, the best part of being the Rocket going apple picking is, oh, you guys see those apples up there? Those nice red ones that are way up there? When we get it for you, I'm about to throw this apple 95 fucking miles an hour through this goddamn apple tree, and we'll shake all those apples to the ground. You guys can go pick up whatever apples you want. It was like apple piñata.
Is that because you couldn't reach it?
I mean, no, I'm not fucking 15 feet tall. Most people alive aren't.
Just saying.
I mean, Dallas, if put it this way,
I could go pick an apple off a tree anytime.
Yeah, if you wanted to pick those apples, I would give you $1.5 million if you were able to do that.
Is that a challenge?
Yes. While being planted on the ground, yes.
No. You can't add caveats to this. The deal was done. We shook.
No, we didn't shake. We did not shake. But yeah, no, apple pickings. It's a little early for it, but
Hey, Joe. Thoughts on an Acuña making an appearance in the postseason?
Is that
an
a thing?
Acuña from the NL East making an appearance in the postseason?
It's not going to happen, Buster.
No.
Good to see the young kid get his day. Come up there, the exciting prospect of Acuña. The lesser of the Acuña brothers. At least one of them is up there. Pretty swing guys. They have very similar mechanics. Beautiful hit up the middle. Unfortunately, he's not Ronald. He's on the Braves. I don't even think he'd probably make the roster if they made the playoffs.
You don't think so?
I mean, I haven't looked at the freaking.
I mean, he could be the secret weapon.
I don't think we got to worry about that. I still don't think the Mets are going to make the playoffs. And with Lindor possibly out, I mean, that would be a big loss. He's getting an MRI today, but it's pretty worrisome for the Mets. I mean, I guess he got hurt this weekend. He left the game, came back, tried to play yesterday, left in the first inning with a bad back.
Well, he said he's been playing through it for a couple weeks.
But if you're leaving a game in the first inning after you leave the game the day before, sounds like something that he's really wants to play it through, but just can't because he doesn't have the freaking dog in him like Mitt Merrifield.
Hold on. Like who? Can you say that?
Mitt Merrifield, because you gotta be wary when this guy comes to the plate. Broken foot, fucking.
Dude, Mitt Merrifield is like my favorite
all time. That is all time. I want to get another dog so I can name it Mitt Merrifield.
We'll talk to Corey about a Mitt Merrifield graphic.
Mitt
Merrifield has been
just a mitt over his face.
Mitt Merrifield.
He's impressed me. I'll just say that. He's impressed me.
Well, he's got balls.
He's got balls. He's got hit in the fucking head.
Got a hit in the head, has
broke his thingy.
Stitches through his nail, broke his foot, and he's still out there playing ball.
Yeah. He hustled out a double the other night, and you could tell on his face. It really hurt him.
Painful.
But we got dog. I mean, you got a star shortstop over in New York. Can't even go. We got to hurt back. Take me out. I got to get an MRI. It's like, dude, what are you doing? Don't you want to make the playoffs? No offense to Lindor. And listen, nothing I hate more than a player getting hurt. And you know that about me. But just, different players, different personalities, everything. Braves will prevail. Almost swept the Dodgers, even though it's a 4-game series we're playing again tonight. But almost swept them.
Almost.
Don't forget.
Jayhay, you got some nugs?
Always do. Let's fire them up here. First, Emmanuel Clase got his 45th save over the weekend. He is now one save from tying the franchise record, which is, I don't like to say his name, but is held by Jose Mesa in 1995, who obviously had 46 in what was a very magical season right up until the very end. What's interesting is that Clase tied Joe Borowski for the second most. Joe Borowski had 45 in 2007. Borowski did so with a 5.07 ERA, and Clase got his 45 saves with a 0.66 ERA. So different ways to skin a cat, I guess, is the phrase. Aaron Judge, he finally got there. 10th instance of a 10 F-WAR season. He got to 10.0 after last night. It's the 10th instance by a batter in the wild card era. The only players to do so in the last 20 seasons, basically post Bonds, are Judge, Trout, and Mookie. And Judge and Trout are the only people to do so multiple times over that span. And he's the first Yankees player with multiple 10 WAR seasons over a 3-season stretch since Mickey Mantle did so in the 1950s. A trio of young, exciting players who continued being young and exciting over the weekend. Jackson Chourio became the third player aged 20 or younger to produce a 20-homer, 20 stolen base season, joining Vada Pinson in 1959 and Mike Trout in 2012. Chourio is also hitting .313 with a .930 OPS in 81 games. So the full 50% of a season since June 8th. That means he has the 5th highest OPS in the NL over that entire span as a 20-year-old. Really, I mean, we're getting to a point where we may not be doing the conversation with him enough justice. It's that special as a 20-year-old. James Wood, another very exciting young player for the Nationals, his first career multi-homer game on Sunday. He is now hitting .309, .406, .497, which is a .903 OPS over his last 45 games, making him one of 10 qualified NL players to have an OPS of 900 or better over that span. Again, he is 21 years old. Pete Crow Armstrong of the Cubs continued. I mean, talk about exciting players. A guy with a .925 OPS and Gold Glove caliber defense in center field over his last 38 games. Since August, the beginning of August, he is one of 9 players in baseball to rack up 2 or more wins above replacement. So he may already be the best player on the Cubs. Paul Skeens back on the bump today. He's making his 3rd start against the Cardinals this season. In his previous 2 starts, he's had 14 2/3 innings pitched, 9 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, and 16 strikeouts. Batters have hit 173 against him in those starts. And then starting today is the sad trombone series, maybe of the entire season. We have the White Sox fighting to avoid becoming the worst team in baseball history. And who is the crucial series against? The Angels. My take is that if you can't beat the Angels to avoid becoming the worst team of all time, then you fully deserve to be the worst team of all time. So check that out on MLB.tv. That's the special game of the day. White Sox Angels. That should be a fun one.
White Sox Angels, prime time.
Yes. And also sign up with the promo code Jared.
Yes, please.
JARED. That's promo code Jared for up to $1,000 back. And what is that beeping? Is that to remind you to sign up with the promo code Jared?
Has to be.
Yeah, you beat me to it.
I would have already thought that you would have signed up. So maybe it was to remind. Are you calling Kavan? Devon?
Kavan?
No.
All right, this is a reminder to Devon to sign up with the promo code Jared then. It's huge.
Joseph, you got any final thoughts today?
Yeah, man. Couple injury notes.
Oh yeah,
Rendon's on the IL. That's big news. Fucking Grayson Rodriguez still not really. That's the one guy I'm really worried about. Grayson Rodriguez for the Orioles. You need Grayson Rodriguez back. I don't really see a lot of updates. I'd be concerned about Grayson Rodriguez. I just put his status to highly concerned for the playoffs.
Ooh.
As we know, Senga, they're saying that he might be coming back before the end of the regular season. I think that might be pushing it. He hasn't faced any live hitters yet, but watch out for Kodai. We already talked about Mr. Lindor, which would be a huge loss for my Mets. And then my Tigers, good news for the Tigers. Javi Baez out for the season, so you don't have to worry about him anymore. 60-day IL. I know that's rude. I hate when players get hurt. It's nothing I hate more in the world than when a player gets hurt. But
right.
You could make the argument that the Tigers are better without him, even though he is a clutch player. I got my eyes on the Tigers. They are 2.5 games out. And I love to see I just really want the Tigers to make the playoffs. Either them.
What are their playoff odds right now?
I think they're around like 5.
Sub 10%. Yeah.
Yeah. Both of them are below 10%, but to me, that just feels low. But I don't like to argue with the numbers. I feel like I had something else to say, but I don't. Yeah, I guess that's it.
I guess that's it.
I mean, I had something else.
Fight for it, Joe.
That's an incredible cliffhanger for a full week from now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Gotta find
had
it.
something. Oh, this is a thought I had, like, just thinking about the Braves. My team. Dude, like, the Braves should be the best team of all time this year. This bullshit that we have fucking injuries. Because think about this, man. Like, literally, like, you take the Braves of last year, best slugging percentage in baseball history as a team, right? 600 slugging percent. Only team in history to do that. Tied the record for most home runs in a season by any team. So, like, arguably, this is the best offense of all time. Every single one of these offensive players comes back the next year. On top of that, you add Chris Sale, you add the Cy Young winner to that team, and Ronaldo Lopez, who I believe still might lead the NL in ERA. I know he's not qualified, but he's up there. So you add like two of the best pitchers in the league to an offense that was arguably the best offense of all time, a team that won over 100 games. Like, we should be the best team in the fucking ever. And right now, we're at the last wild card spot. We're fighting for our lives. But another injury note. Ozzy Albies is coming back hitting right-handed probably by the end of the week. So let's give it up for the Braves.
Give it up for the Braves.
It's just sad that this had to happen this year, because actually, as all the bad things that happened, a lot of things went right for the Braves. Like Ozuna having this crazy season, Chris Sale having this crazy season, Ronaldo Lopez, like a lot of things that went so right for the Braves, but then so many things going so wrong. It's been a paradox.
Makes for an even playing field. No one's playing well right now.
Yeah.
Like no one is going into the playoffs red hot. Like, that is definitively the best team that's going to steamroll to the World Series. It's a wide open field.
It's true. Another fun fact, the Braves have a better record than the fucking Astros. Now they're tied, but like, that's another thing that I don't think people would even realize.
Yeah.
Like, as bad as the Braves kind of downfall has been, like, you know, they're 13 games over 500.
Yeah. No one's saying they're bad.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like, you know, it's a weird landscape now. It's like, usually, like, if the Braves didn't make the playoffs this year, or any team didn't make the playoffs, you could never argue, like, to be 13 games over 500 with the expanded playoffs and not make it, like, I don't think that's ever really going to be a thing.
That's
I think
not
this is going to be a rare season.
Yeah. Dallas, did I already ask you for your final thoughts?
No, but we've gone 2 hours and just not addressed the fact that Joe has like a Walmart Keanu Reeves kind of vibe going. Like,
Yeah, I noticed it. I haven't been able to carry like a complete thought, because it just, I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if he fell like face first into an Etch-a-Sketch that was broken and he's got shit on his face now, but like the flow of the hair, Joe, get up close here. Let me see that.
I got shit on my face. Look,
let me see it.
Talking, bro.
Get up close, dude. Get up close. let me get a look at you. Yeah. All right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He's got a little Don Quixote look to him.
Yeah, he's doing it, dude.
Yeah. So that's my final thought.
You got lucky. I usually wear my hat. I didn't wear my hat today.
Joe looks like a strip mall karate instructor.
And you look like a bitch, not a fucking.
Oh,
we go.